Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call this council meeting to order, and I'm going to ask if there's any declaration of pecuniary interest from anyone. Please declare them now. Seeing none, I had a report from a couple of people after last meeting that they're hearing our voice, our volume was not good by a couple of microphones. And I think our treasurer was named, so I'm not sure, Gord, if you were speaking close or it was the mic. It was the microphone. Perfect. So we have a guest here tonight. His name is Ray Stockus. He's new in town, and I just met him last week. So said you should come to a council meeting. So he did. So, all right, reporting out of council. Moved by Councillor Dirksen. Seconded by Councillor Gunson, that the council received the closed session report regarding third-party information supplied in confidence to the municipality, Airstea Industrial Park, for information only. All in favor of the motion? You guys having your own little meeting over there?
Yeah, I just lost my glasses. I wanted to do myself. That's the meeting I'm having.
I'm going to call the question again on the reporting out of closed. All in favor of that motion?
I'm in favor.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Got a motion by Councillor Potnovich, second by Councillor Elliott, that the minutes of the town of Minto, April 2nd, 2024, and April 5th, 2024, closed session meeting, April 2nd, 2024, regular council, and April 5th, 2024, special council meetings be approved. All in favor of the motion? Carried, thank you. Moved by Deputy Mayor Anderson, seconded by Councillor Potnovich, that the Town of Minto Council convenes in the Committee of the Whole. All in favor of that motion? Carried. Thank you. We have no public meetings this evening. We have no delegations, but we have a public question period. So we're going to move on into correspondence. Moved by Councillor Dirksen, second by Councillor Zimmerman, that the council receive the correspondence as information. Got a couple of Maitland Valley minutes from January. We got the source protection. We've got Mapleton Senior Center of Excellence newsletter, which is always excellent. And then a couple others. The 2024 OSIM conference, and the last one has to do with code of conducts and enforcements. Is there any of them that anyone wants to pull out? Councillor Elliott, go ahead.
I would like to pull out E.
Sorry, E?
E, yes, please.
Okay. All right, so we want to pull out E and discuss it at a later date. Anything else? Councillor Elliott, can you make that a motion, please?
To pull it? Or,
Yep.
Yes, I would make a motion to pull out E.
And a second. Thank you, Councillor Zimmerman. So we can vote on that first. Go ahead. Sorry, Annalene, go ahead.
Sorry, I know that Councillor Elliott had pulled it, I believe, for support of the resolution, and I just wanted to know if everyone understood that it was for the resolution that was being pulled, for support of resolution.
Everybody understand that Councillor Elliott wants to support this resolution?
I can speak to it if you wish.
Sure, go ahead. Take a couple minutes.
Sure. I don't know whether everybody's had an opportunity to read it. This was sent to me, and I'm also passing it on to OSIM. And I'll read a little thing that I have. If you've had the chance to read it, it's about respect of people outside, and respect from councillors, and respect from the mayor's office. The correspondence was sent to me to share with both OSIM board and council, asking for support. The Women of Ontario Say No is a nonpartisan group advocating for government legislation to hold municipalities' elected officials, politicians accountable for violence and harassment. They started it in Simcoe County in response to concerns of workplace harassment by councillors across the province. People should have the right to go to work and not be harassed. The attached template draft resolution is from the Association of Municipalities of Ontario, who are calling for legislation to strengthen municipal codes of conduct and enforcement. I would like to make a motion that we pass the attached draft, and the draft is in your correspondence if you want to have a look at it quickly. I'm sure you've all read it before this. It's kind of a surprise to us at Minto Council and probably our past councils in Thomas and Harrison and Clifford and Township. None of that happens very often. We're a well-behaved group, but there's no consequences for some of these places where people are getting harassed. Staff are getting harassed from councillors and from different people in our position. And I certainly now understand that, and I've done some research with fellow OSIM people, and in some of those places that does happen, and there's no recourse for the staff. So in fact, this is giving the staff a chance to recourse if they're being harassed or being taken advantage of or abused. So I would urge council, and I would make a motion that we move the attached draft.
Okay, and so we have a seconder, Councillor Zimmerman. All in favor of the motion? That's
Thank you.
carried unanimously. So let's pass the other motion to accept the rest of the correspondence. All in favor of that motion? That's carried. Thank you. Okay, so we'll move along to staff reports. We have Linda Wick-Graham here tonight to present a report on the ECDEV 2024-006 amendment to option to purchase agreement 100004969 Ontario Limited. They, when they produce those big numbers, they maybe should put a letter in there now, because they're getting longer all the time. Go ahead, Belinda.
Thanks, Mayor Turton. Yeah, I was counting the zeros myself to make sure when I said it, I'd have it correct. So thank you. I'll be brief with this report. As you know, we have development covenants in our options to purchase that have timelines for building permits as well as completion of construction. This project's been a little bit more complicated, and as a result, we've had to do an amendment to our option to purchase that would allow this extension from February 11th, 2024 to October 30th, 2025 for the company to get their building permit, and then from February 11th, 2025 to October 30th, 2026 to complete construction. As noted in the report, at the 6-month extension, we are able to do that within our APS, and we do collect a 10% performance deposit. Once the project's completed, they get that returned, and if not, then we keep that. So that has been collected when we did the initial 6-month extension, and the property owner is paying for the amendment to the option to purchase agreement to be created. So there's no cost to the municipality for this extension. So it's pretty straightforward if there's any questions.
Okay, so we have a motion moved by Councillor Zimmerman, second by Deputy Mayor Anderson, that the Council of Town of Minto receives report ECDEV 2024-006 regarding the amendment to option to purchase agreement 100004969 Ontario Limited, and authorizes the mayor and the clerk to sign this agreement. Questions for Belinda? Fairly straightforward. We've done this before. So all in favor of the motion? That's carried. Thank you. And I will pass the chair over to Councillor Dirksen.
Thank you, Mayor Turton. And we have 2 items on the finance agenda this evening, and I'll turn it over to Treasurer Duff to take us through the first one, please.
Great. Thank you, Chair Dirksen. So this is a new policy, and this is not a policy brought on by any level of government. This is brought on by the Public Sector Accounting Board, which works hand in hand with the CPA Institute. They brought in this policy whereby certain public sector organizations, and we are one, has to recognize the potential cost of taking an asset out of service. I guess the hammer they have is this is in effect for the fiscal year 2023. We will not get a clean accounting opinion without doing this. And all our financial reports and grant applications would not be looked at favorably if we don't do it. So that's why we're doing this. We don't have a set of nerds to do this. So it's part of an accounting standard in the handbook, and it's to recognize the costs of taking these assets out of service, and it includes like the disposal, remediation. The limitation is it's only a legal or a contractual obligation. So there's two classic ones, both of which thankfully do not now apply to the town of Minto. They used to apply to us and our predecessors. So a landfill, when you take a landfill out of service, you must remediate it, make sure there's no leaching and all that. So that would be a cost. Another would be a gravel pit. So up until not that many years ago, the town of Minto did own a gravel pit. Again, you must rehabilitate that. The challenge is determining exactly what are our obligations, what are the possibilities. So we put together a little task force with finance, public works, water, wastewater, community services, the building department, and a representative from Triton Engineering to help with the costing. And we're working with PSD Citywide on this project. We have many buildings, I think 26 complete buildings, plus various lift stations and pumping stations and that too. So I give a lot of credit to our Chief Building Inspector, Dave Wilson. He's had a walkthrough of many of our satellite facilities. I think we have about 6 more to inspect. We've also obtained what they call designated substance reports for our 3 arenas. So what are we looking for primarily there? The asbestos. If it's older paint, there could be lead paint, there could be other noxious substances, which again, asbestos is one named substance that you just can't put it in the yellow bag and take it away. You have to dispose of it properly. So we're trying to see how much of those types of materials do we have and what is the cost to do that. Another one that you can't see, but part of our asset management, we've cataloged many of our pipes. We have asbestos concrete pipes. So they give rise to another disposal obligation too. So we're going through and we're identifying it. I'd say we're about 80% through the data gathering process. And then the policy lays out some definitions. And then once we have these costs, we have 3 different options, whether to go back and restate or do a modified partial restatement, go forward. But we're choosing to do it just on a go forward basis and not go back and restate previous financial statements. So once we have the cost, say it's $100,000 and it's for this, say it's for an arena. What happens is you add that 100,000 to the original cost of the arena, you set up a liability, and basically you amortize them over the remaining estimated useful life. So it will be more bookkeeping and that, but no real net effect on like our surplus or deficit in that too. So, and there's various other decisions. There's on the last page of the policy on page 7, there's a flow chart that kind of goes through the decision analysis that you make with regard to each asset. So anyway, one of the things we have to do is pass a policy like this. So that's what it is now. Entertain any questions or?
Okay, Councillor Elliott.
Gord, asset management. So in this research that you're doing and you found an asset of no use, maybe it's physically in good shape and we're not going to use that anymore. We have no use for it. Does that become part of this too?
Not exactly. Only, again, if there's that legal responsibility, but maybe we came through, I know, Minto, I can't think offhand that we have such a building, but say we had a small building that was just filled with asbestos and nobody's using it, but we still own it. And we say we're going to take that out of commission, then we would actually do the work. And probably we'd say, if it was that case, it's at its estimated useful life now. And we would reflect that as an expense. And we wouldn't have to go through the process of setting it up and writing it off over time. We'd actually incur the cost now and do that.
So if we had no need for a building and we wanted to sell the building, would that, what happens there? Does that all become of that? I just, I'm
It
trying to,
wouldn't really
it
end.
seems to me
This-
it's
this
a
is-
problem building.
Yeah, this is a very narrow section because like an obvious one is like we have sewage treatment plants. Well, same thing. If you're going to wind it up, there's all kinds of stuff you have to do. That is not part of this one. It's covered under an MOE policy or
Okay.
contaminated sites and that, but.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thanks, Gord.
sure.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Thanks,
Mayor
Chair. So, Gordon, what is the meaning of all this?
Well.
I mean,
Accountants
realistically,
have a lot of time on their hands. I have. What it is, I think they're trying to recognize that in our vast array of assets, some of them have almost like a poison pill. Like if we want to get rid of it, there's a cost to doing that. Like say you own a truck. Well, you want to sell the truck, you go and sell the truck and trade it in, and there's no obligations. But if you've got an asbestos-filled building, a good example, remember when we purchased the old Minto
School.
Clifford, like senior school? Yeah, like we had to recognize, even though we were selling it, there's a cost of that asset, and that was primarily asbestos. So I guess they're trying to say that maybe your assets carry hidden liabilities with them and to do with the disposal. So, and that is an accounting item that should be recognized. Again, if material, like there's lots of small things that might cost $100 to take to the hazardous waste. Well, it's not material, but if it's, it's going to cost you $25,000, then it is material.
Okay, any other questions? I'll read the recommendation.
not right now, I'm sorry. We can talk about it later.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I will
Councillor
read the
Burns.
recommendation, moved by Councillor Podnowitz and seconded by Councillor Elliott, that Council of the Town of Minto receives report Finance 2024-005 regarding the asset retirement obligations and adopts the policy as attached. All in favor? Thank you, that carries. We'll go on to the second item, please, Treasurer Duff.
Certainly, thanks, Chair Dirksen. So I believe back last fall, could have even been last summer, I think, Councillor Zimmerman brought an informal report to council about the wishes of a group of citizens interested in the heritage and the history of the hamlet of Tiviotdale, and they wish to provide a marker of some sort. So that group did the research to see what was there, gathered old photographs and stories, and also did some fundraising, which the town was agreeable to do the bookkeeping and help with. So they decided that they would try and put up a mural, somewhat like what we have in the Lions Heritage Park, various other locations throughout the town of Minto. And rainbow signs were a great asset here. And I think on the last page of the actual agreement, we've come up with 6 kind of historical photographs, some from way back, some from maybe only 50 years ago, and a little story about them. We wanted to put it somewhere in the hamlet area of Teviotdale, but the challenge is, where do we put it? There isn't like a park or anything there. So we went around various sites and came up with what I think is a very good location. The owners of the Teviotdale truck stop are also interested in the history of the area, have agreed to allow us to put up a mural board on their parking lot. Actually, if you're driving by, there's a grove of spruce trees kind of towards County Road 123, and it would be there. The truck stop is a very popular spot to stop off on the way to the cottage or pull in for a coffee in the winter or whatever. So I think it's got good visibility. I know we've been on site a few times. It's a good place for people to stop and let their dog out and have it there. So anyway, we have an agreement. It's similar to ones that Belinda has done for various murals in the town, just basically allowing us formally to erect the structure and set who's going to maintain it and various things like that. So it's kind of a good news story. I believe once it's up, which hopefully will be maybe in late May, we'll probably have an opening unveiling ceremony and kind of draw attention to it. So anyway, I'll entertain any
Great.
questions. Yeah.
It's nice to see this project coming together then. Question from Councillor Ponowitz.
Is that agreement registered on title?
It's not, no, it's just one between the owner does not want any encumbrances, shall we
What
say.
happens if they sell the property and the other person?
Basically, Boral Swazen, we would have to remove it if the new owner did not.
Any other questions? Okay, I will read the recommendation. Moved by Deputy Mayor Anderson and seconded by Councillor Gunson that Council of the Town of Minto receives report Finance 2024-006 regarding Tividale historical signs and considers passing a bylaw in regular session authorizing the mayor and clerk to execute a mural agreement in the hamlet of Tividale with Tividale Truck Stop, Inc. All in favor of the recommendation? Thank you. That
Thank you.
carries. Okay, thank you, Treasurer Duff, and I'll turn the chair back to Mayor Turton, sorry.
Thank you, Councillor Dirksen. We're moving right along here tonight. We're down to announcements. So going to ask Councillor Elliott, do you want to go first?
I am none.
Councillor
I
Potovitz,
have no announcements.
Councillor Gunson.
Excuse me, just a reminder, May 4th and 5th, Life Outdoors Show in Clifford. We won't be back until after that, so just a reminder of that.
Councillor Dirksen.
Well,
Go
just having a wee peek at my calendar here, and it says that the Grey Wellington Theatre Guild has a show going on next weekend and the weekend after that, so you might want to take that in. That's Gibson and Sons. Yes, the outdoor show, good one. Yeah, I think that would be. Anyways, that's a spot to check out. I think is the show at the Grey Wellington Theatre Guild.
Councillor Zimmerman.
I have nothing this evening.
Deputy Mayor Anderson. Couple things. I would just like to mention Mayor's Breakfast. I've had so many positive comments about the Mayor's Breakfast and the education that it brought. And I just like to thank Belinda and her team for putting that together and our staff. It was excellent. The other thing is this Thursday is volunteers dinner in Palmerston. I think Annalena said that there's over 200. So again, it's too late to get tickets, but just like to welcome the people that are coming. Other than that, I was at a job fair in Palmerston at the school on Thursday. And it was very well done, very well put together. A lot of our businesses in the town of Minto were there. We had all kinds of, the county of Wellington was there. We had all kinds of other people to do with health, wellness. Help me, Belinda. But yeah, it was very well put together. And I suggest to everybody next year when it comes to take an hour and go. It was the kids, the students, they were amazed at what was going on. I know over the years we've had it at night and likely wasn't as well attended, but being as they could go leave their class, in fact, there was 2 or 3 busloads came from other parts of our province, possibly Listowel, Mount Forest, our county. And it was, again, it was educational for everyone. And just thank our staff for putting that together. Next, we have moved by Councillor Dirksen, second by Councillor Elliott, that the Committee of the Whole convenes into regular council. All in favor of the motion? Thank you. Notices of motion. Anything in that? Okay. Moved by Councillor Potnovich, seconded by Deputy Mayor Anderson, that the Council of the Town of Minto ratifies the motions made in the Committee of the Whole. All in favor of the motion? Passed. Bylaws, moved by Councillor Zimmerman, seconded by Councillor Gunson, that bylaw 2024-021, 2024-022, and 2024-023 be read a first, second, third time and passed in open council and sealed with the seal of the corporation. All in favor of the motion? It's carried. Thank you. Confirmatory, moved by Councillor Gunson, seconded by Deputy Mayor Anderson, that bylaws 2024-013 to confirm the actions of, sorry?
That should say 024.
024. So that bylaw 2024-024?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. To confirm the actions of the council of the corporation of the town of Minto respecting a meeting held April 16th to be read first, second, and third time, passed in open council and sealed with the seal of the corporation. All in favor of the motion? Carried. Thank you. Adjournment, moved by Councillor Potnovich, second by Councillor Elliott, that the council of the town of Minto adjourn. Meet again at the call of the mayor. All in favor of the motion? That's carried. Thank you very much.